So we're going to start editing the sections, and this is where you're going to have your colour and your stitch chosen sections. So using the left hand side of the mouse, you just select your section you want to begin with. As you can see here that it will go dark grey. If it does that when you select, it's because this is where, if there's any bleed or there's a hole in any of the lines, it's gone through those. So again, if that happens, you need to use the pencil or the rubber to correct those to avoid it. To get rid, or if you've selected something that you want to get rid of, so to deselect, use the right hand side of your mouse. So we're going to start with this particular part. So you go to the fill button, which is the oval blue with the little bit of green icon there. So we just press that, and in the fill button you have your stitch type, your fill colour. The fill colours, it gives you two pages of those, page 1 and page 2. These are to give you an idea of how your design would be imported, but please remember that you need to be careful of what colours we actually have available. It might sound obvious, but obviously it's what you put on the machine that will stitch out into these sections that you're going to select. So just be mindful that if it's a large design and you want a lot of, for example, turquoise, that you're making sure that you've got enough to complete that design. So always check first. And then on your stitch type, you've got your horizontal stitch there, your diagonal weave, your vertical weave, cross stitch, and your satin. Now I'm going to talk about satin in a little bit more depth because you have to plot where your satin starts and finishes. And it's worth saying now that please don't set satin stitch or a lot of satin stitch on a big scale. It's very costly and uses a lot of thread. So be aware that either use it in sections or only for final pieces that aren't to a massive scale. And certainly for your samples, we're just going to be using some of these to test with. Satin will be one of those, but keep it to a small amount. So I'm going to use cross stitch, and we're going to get the blue and OK that. And then to register it, you need to take it from the left of your page to the right, and that's registering it. And that's the little two little flowers there on the button. One is the black flower, and one is the colour flower. So we're going to just press that, and that will register my cross stitch in blue across with that shape. Now, something to be aware of, that any editing should really go on your left hand side. This is going to help for undoing, so if you're deselecting with the mouse, there's no real undo button, so you don't want to be in a position where you're having to edit and place over to the side and have to go to change stitching or any issues you might have. It's always better to get it done at that editing stage. Once it gets registered, it's very hard to alter. So I'm going to quickly go and do a few of these so we can have a look at the different. I'm going to use quite a different couple of stitches. Like that. Just register that over. Okay, so you can start to see that your design will be built up and the stitches that you're choosing will be different on that one right side, and that's the one image. All of that will be imported. So I'll just do that piece there to finish it off and register that over. So when you start to think about satin stitch, if we go in again, we select satin stitch, okay, and that will know that it's going to be satin. Now when we press register, it will ask us a number of questions, which I'm going to go into a little bit more detail now. Okay.